Your Areca palm has been putting out maybe one new frond a year, and it still looks thin compared to the ones you see in hotel lobbies and office lounges. That's not bad luck. Almost every Areca palm owner ends up with the same slow, thin plant, usually without ever finding out why. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's holding your Areca palm back, and 10 specific changes that get it filling out and pushing new fronds again. Quick thing before we get into it, if you want more videos like this one, breaking down exactly what makes a specific plant thrive instead of just survive, tap like and subscribe now so the next one shows up for you. It genuinely helps this reach more plant owners stuck at the same plateau. Okay, let's get into tip number 1. Tip 1, the light level most Areca owners get wrong. Most Areca palms are sitting in light that's technically fine but nowhere near what actually drives fast growth. People hear indirect light and assume any spot away from a window works, but Areca palms come from bright, dappled forest conditions and need strong, consistent indirect light, close to a window, not just somewhere in the general vicinity of one. In lower light, an Areca palm doesn't die, it just idles, putting out thin, pale fronds slowly instead of full, deep green ones at a real pace, and it can go on this way for years without anyone noticing. The fix is to place it within a few feet of your brightest window, ideally one that gets several hours of bright light even if it's not direct sun, and rotate it occasionally so all sides get equal exposure. Tip 2, the humidity gap behind browning tips. Areca palms come from humid tropical environments, and most homes, especially with heating or air conditioning running for most of the year, sit well below the humidity level these plants actually want. Low humidity shows up as browning tips before it shows up as anything more obvious, and it quietly slows growth even before you notice the visible damage. Group your Areca palm with other plants, set it on a tray of pebbles with water beneath the pot without letting the pot sit in the water directly, or run a small humidifier nearby. Tip 3, why let it dry out, is the wrong advice here. This is the one that surprised me most when I first started paying closer attention to Areca palms specifically, because so much general houseplant advice pushes letting the soil dry out between waterings, and that's actually the wrong approach here. Unlike a succulent or a snake plant, an Areca palm's roots come from a rainforest floor that stays consistently, evenly moist, never bone dry and never soggy. Letting the soil fully dry out between watering stresses the roots and shows up as browning frond tips and stalled growth, the same symptom as low humidity, which is part of why this one gets misdiagnosed so often. The fix is to water when the top inch or so of soil has dried out, not when the whole pot has, which for most homes means checking every 5 to 7 days rather than waiting for it to feel completely dry. At the same time, the pot needs excellent drainage, because consistently moist doesn't mean sitting in water. A mix that holds moisture but drains freely, and a pot with a real drainage hole, are what let you keep the soil evenly damp without drowning the roots. Tip 4, feeding it like a palm, not a generic houseplant. Areca palms are heavier feeders relative to a lot of common houseplants, and a huge number of slow-growing, pale, or streaky-leaved Areca palms are simply underfed, or fed with the wrong kind of fertilizer entirely. Regular balanced houseplant fertilizer is missing key micronutrients palms specifically need, especially manganese and magnesium, and a deficiency in either one shows up as yellowing or stunted new growth long before it looks like a dramatic problem. The fix is to use a fertilizer formulated specifically for palms, which includes those micronutrients, applied at half strength every 4 to 6 weeks during spring through early fall, and skipped entirely in winter when growth naturally slows down. Tip 5, the 10-minute habit that boosts photosynthesis. Here's a small habit that surprised me with how much difference it actually made. Dust builds up on Areca palm fronds faster than people expect, and a dusty leaf can't photosynthesize anywhere near as efficiently as a clean one, which directly slows growth even when everything else about the setup is right. Once every couple of weeks, wipe down the fronds with a damp cloth, or set the whole plant in the shower for a quick rinse if it's large enough to warrant it. It takes maybe 10 minutes and the difference in how much usable light the plant gets afterward is genuinely bigger than it sounds. Tip 6, why a slightly snug pot grows it faster. It feels natural to repot into a much bigger container the moment an Areca palm looks snug, but Areca palms actually prefer being slightly root-bound and can put energy into new fronds instead of root expansion when they're not swimming in a huge amount of extra soil all at once. An oversized pot also holds more moisture than the roots are actually using, which circles back to the rot risk we covered in tip 3. The fix is to only repot when roots are visibly circling the bottom or pushing out of the drainage hole, and even then, move up just one pot size rather than several sizes at once. Spring, at the start of the active growth window, is the best time to do it, since the roots recover and re-establish quickly instead of sitting stressed in oversized, damp soil heading into a slower season ahead. Tip 7, the tap water problem nobody checks. This is the one I mentioned nobody thinks to check, and it took me a while to connect it myself. Areca palms are unusually sensitive to fluoride, chlorine, and the mineral salts found in a lot of tap water, far more than most common houseplants. Over time, those compounds build up in the soil and in the leaf tissue itself, and the plant's response is to sacrifice the tips of its fronds first, showing up as the same brown tip symptom people usually blame on humidity or watering. The fix is to switch to filtered, distilled, or rainwater, or to let tap water sit out uncovered overnight so some of the chlorine dissipates before using it. If your tap water is particularly hard or heavily treated, this single switch is often the difference between an Areca palm with permanently crispy tips and one with fully green fronds edge to edge. Tip 8, the weekly turn that keeps it full on all sides. Areca palms grow toward their light source just like most plants, and a palm that's never rotated ends up leaning and filling out unevenly over time, with fronds clustering on one side and thin gaps on the other. Once every week or two, give the pot a quarter turn in the same direction, so it works out to a full rotation every month or so, without you ever having to think much about it. It takes less than a minute and the payoff is a fuller, more symmetrical plant that's using its whole canopy to catch light instead of only half of it. Tip 9, the airflow trick that keeps pests from stalling growth. Areca palms are one of the more common houseplant targets for spider mites, and still, stagnant indoor air is a big part of why infestations take hold and quietly stunt growth long before you ever notice tiny webbing or stippled leaves. The fix is to keep the plant somewhere with some natural air movement, run a small fan on a low setting nearby for part of the day if the room is stagnant, and periodically check the undersides of fronds for fine webbing or small stippled dots, especially in dry winter months when mites are most active and hardest to spot early. Catching an infestation in its first week rather than its fourth is often the difference between a plant that keeps growing straight through it and one that loses several fronds recovering. Tip 10, pruning weak canes and judging growth by the year. The last piece is really about how you think about a clumping palm like this one. Areca palms grow multiple canes from the base, and as the clump matures, older, thinner, less productive canes can actually be pruned out at soil level to redirect the plant's energy toward the strongest, fullest canes, rather than spreading it evenly across all of them, including the weak ones that aren't contributing much. This isn't urgent and shouldn't be done aggressively, but removing one clearly weaker cane every year or two, especially anything that stopped producing new fronds entirely, noticeably speeds up how full the remaining canes get over time. Okay, so, put even half of these into practice this season and you'll likely see fuller, greener fronds well before the year's out. I want to know two things, which of these you're already doing, and which one you're changing today. Drop both in the comments. If you found this useful, a like and a subscribe genuinely helps this channel keep making videos like it. See you in the next.